a lot has changed. Nobody's taking it for granted. Nobody's saying there isn't more fighting to do. Nobody's saying that there aren't going to be tactical victories and that ISIL is going to continue to see some success here. But we are in a vastly different place now a year later than we were at the outset.
John, can I ask you, since you repeated the president's comments, I assume you agree with them, yes?
Yes.
The strategy by Russia is a mistake and
yes,
doomed to fail?
Of course.
How do you back that up, that it's doomed to fail? I mean, this is the same administration that has been saying Assad's days are numbered for roughly the past 1,400 days. Why should anyone take that seriously, and why do you think it's doomed to fail?
Well, look, the Bashar al-Assad is...
I mean, his days are numbered in the fact that he is a mortal human being and will die eventually for whatever. But I mean, the suggestion days are numbered suggests that he's going to be at least out of power quickly, and it's been 4 years since that was first said. So I'm wondering why it is you think that the Russian strategy is doomed to fail.
A strategy that's based on trying to bolster him and his capability to continue to barrel bomb his own people. And to visit violence in his own country, under the guise of perhaps trying to help him fight terrorists, is doomed to fail because the Assad regime is never going to have a credible capability against a group like that, given their other activities. And I don't know how many more days, but we know, and the Russians have indicated that they know that there has to be a political transition away from Assad in Syria. So just by dint of that, their own acknowledgement that a political transition is necessary, I think one can conclude that the way to get there, at least we conclude, the way to get there is not by propping him up militarily and giving him more firepower.
But I don't understand how you can say that you know that the Russians know that there has to be a transition and then accuse them of plotting a strategy that's doomed to fail by supporting the guy who you think they see needs to go.
Well, let me put it this way. If you believe that a political transition is necessary away from Assad, and the Russians have indicated in talks with us that they agree that there needs to be a political transition, and that's what, again, we still think there's an open opportunity to it. If you do believe that, then what would be the logic of propping that same dictator up with military support?
Exactly.
Exactly.
What would be the logic? So the Russians are just being stupid and illogical, or
I didn't say
they're
that.
not, or they're not doing what you think that they're doing.
Well, again, we don't have perfect visibility on exactly what they are doing or what they intend to do. We're taking what they said over the weekend at face value.
But you don't think there's any way that this buildup that they have could be somehow in aid of a political transition?
It boggles the mind to see how militarily supporting with additional assets Bashar al-Assad is going to help lead towards a political transition.
So basically what you're saying is what the Russians are doing makes no sense. Well, it makes sense to them because they're doing it, right?
Well, you'd have to ask them why it makes sense to them. But again, that's what the president said. He believes it's a mistake. We obviously concur with that. Yes. Yeah, sure.